morning, everybody. I just wanted to do a cryptocurrency video because I haven't done one in a long time. I'm always on the road, so I figured, hey, it's a good time to do a little bit of a discussion about it. I think what I'm going to do basically is I'm just going to talk as if I'm talking to myself out loud about what I'm going to do with crypto or what I am doing or have been doing. Because right now I'm kind of in a situation where crypto's been pretty good to me. Pretty good to me. And I'm at a crossroads because I think we're approaching what I consider to be endgame of cryptocurrencies. So before I get started, I want to make sure that if you are the first time here and you like what I'm saying, hit that like button. Also subscribe. And hit the bell notification and make sure it's set to all so that, you know, every time that I set a new video up on the YouTube platform, you will be notified and you'll be able to partake in the discussions that I commit to video. So without further ado, so what am I saying about crypto? Well, all right, I've gotten involved in crypto and I don't really talk about what particular crypto I invest in, but I guess I kind of want to cover that now. I didn't just invest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin was one of the first, or it probably was the first I got involved in because I didn't really know much about crypto at the time. It was probably around 2013. I was just getting into crypto because I was starting to wake up to the realities that gold and silver are very old forms of money and that they are not technologically advanced. And even though I still like precious metals, I don't invest in them as much as I used to. But I am a hodler of precious metals. But I'm more so a hodler of silver. I do like platinum. Palladium was probably my first precious metal investment. I got my brother involved in it. My brother never really believed that I knew what I was talking about when it came to investments. So he got in, and palladium was around $200 an ounce. And by the time he got out of it, it was around $600 an ounce. So we had done very well in terms of precious metal investing, but I'm pretty sure my brother is still convinced that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I never really got him involved in cryptocurrencies. Tried to get my mom involved in cryptocurrencies, but she's in her 80s. And I don't believe she grasps the concept of cryptocurrencies because she's used to the physical investments like gold and silver. And the philosophy that if you don't hold it and it's not something physical that, you know, holds the value, then you don't really own it. And I can understand that perspective because, you know, I'm coming from the precious metals perspective. So I know that same philosophy of if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Because with precious metals, it's hard to store. So a lot of times people would store it in something known as a depository, which is almost like a bank for commodities or for a physical asset, something with material behind it, not something in your philosophical mind, right? And so if you didn't hold it, you didn't own it, right? So somebody else was holding it for you, and a lot of times what would happen is if someone else is holding it for you, they could shut down and confiscate, or the government could come through and mandate that the holder relinquish your possession to their possession. Basically, the government could come in and confiscate it if they wanted. If they, let's say, made gold and silver illegal for Americans to own, which they had done in the past through Franklin Delano Roosevelt made it illegal for Americans to own gold. And then after he seized all the gold from Americans, he revalued it at a higher value, and basically government made money off of gold overnight. Absolutely illegal. That's market manipulation, insider trading. Government can do everything illegal, but when we try to make money, they put us in prison and they penalize us. So, and my philosophy over the years has changed quite a bit in terms of my government. I don't really have a government. I'm really understanding it the way the U.S. was created, was that we were the government. We, the people, were the government. And I'm understanding a lot more that we don't really need leaders. And because of cryptocurrencies, I'm seeing that it's making that reality a lot more possible. And that's why governments around the world, not just the United States government, do not like cryptocurrencies, because then cryptocurrencies basically make us our own banks. We don't need banks. We don't need a bank because you have direct access to your money. You don't have to put in you don't have to pay any fees to utilize your own cash, like on an ATM. You don't need a government. You can go anywhere in the world with your cryptocurrency. So we don't need a fiat currency that's basically supposed to represent the government of the country that we are in, and we don't need a banking system behind it in order to access it. So it eliminates banks and governments altogether. It really empowers you as an individual to be your own government, to be independent, to be actually pretty powerful. And they call that sovereign, you know. In the past, sovereigns were kings and queens or noble people, or tribal leaders, anyone who basically oversaw a giant kingdom or a country. Those were your sovereigns. But now we are free sovereign individuals, and decentralization, which has come from blockchain and cryptocurrency, has allowed us to be the kings and queens. And a lot of people don't grasp that because they're too used to being slaves and working for the dollar, and then being taxed their working dollar. After they worked so hard, they put the money in the bank, government comes in and says, oh, hey, you know, if you want to keep operating in this country, we gotta get our little, our protection fee through taxation. That's no different than a mafia coming in and extorting you to be able to do business in their mafia region, their area that they control. And that to me is disgusting, you know. Any form of taxation or penalty or fee to do business, protection fee like the mafia used to call it, it basically was protection from them. They won't attack you if you pay them the money. They won't destroy your business if you pay them the money. But still, the government still destroys business. Right after they extort you with the penalty, with the tax, then they come in and they regulate your business. They tell you how to do business. They tell you what you can and can't do. They limit the way you do business. Really screwy. The world has gotten where, you know, we can't expand our business except by credit. And customers can't come in except by credit because people don't make money anymore because the government's stolen it from them. And so we become slaves to banks where we had to borrow that money now because we don't have it anymore. We gave it to the government. A really screwy system. And with cryptocurrencies, we now have that ability to make our money, keep our money, grow our money, and spend our money without paying a penalty unless we're on an exchange where we trade that cryptocurrency. And if we trade that cryptocurrency, we still have to pay tax to the government because the government treats it like property. And you are chattel, you are a slave of the king, and you must pay your tribute to the king or you will be shut down or arrested. With cryptocurrency, what's beautiful about that though is you don't have to sell it. You can buy it and you can hold it forever. If you hold it forever, you don't pay a tax on it. You may get a property tax for owning it, but that's a one-time tax. And as long as you don't sell it, you don't pay any income tax. There's a possibility you can have implied gains that the federal, or I shouldn't say federal government because the IRS isn't really federal government. It's just an entity that was created to appear like it was part of the federal government, but it's an illegal entity. under our Constitution, and most people for years haven't realized that, and they've destroyed our dollar. And so now the dollar never really was ours. If you look on it, the name of the Federal Reserve is on it, so it belongs to the Federal Reserve. So they can destroy the dollar if they want to. It's their dollar. But anyway, for years, people have figured that the IRS and the Federal Reserve are real government entities, and that they have the right to control the value of those things. They don't. And over the past few years, since 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created and the IRS, they've destroyed 97% of the value of the dollar. And most people don't understand that even their assets are priced in dollars, right? Let's say you buy oil to get out of the dollar. Well, yeah, your oil may go up in price and value versus the dollar, but once you sell that oil, what do you have? You sell it into dollars. In other words, you exchange your oil asset for dollars, because you can't spend your oil. And this is the difference where cryptocurrencies come in. Cryptocurrencies, once you get out of the dollar, you don't ever have to go back into the dollar, ever again. And the government is trying to get control over cryptocurrencies because they don't know how to keep their control, because they're losing it now because of that. And that's why you have the SEC coming in and talking about how Ripple and Kitcoin and these other types of tokens and cryptocurrencies are really securities. And they're trying to gain control over the cryptocurrencies, when in fact, cryptocurrencies are not securities. There's nobody setting the value of these cryptocurrencies. The value of the cryptocurrencies is not dependent on a person or on a company. And so it's not really a security. But the SEC is coming in trying to tell Ripple, what the company Ripple, what they can and can't do when it comes to the cryptocurrency XRP. I enjoy that kind of FUD, because I came in and I bought XRP when everybody sold out of it, and when most of the exchanges delisted it. I felt like what's going to happen is it's going to become an exclusive asset. So yes, I am kind of giving you a clue into what I invested. I'm not going to tell you whether I actually own it or not, because I don't want to give governments any ammunition to come after me, but I'll just tell you things I'm looking at. I did kind of say I bought into XRP. Doesn't mean I have it right now. But to me, XRP is a great investment. In the beginning, they were calling it the banker token. And everybody didn't want to touch it because they felt like the banks were the ones in control of XRP. And so it became a shunned asset. Nobody wanted it because nobody liked the Federal Reserve and all that. But then there was rumors that it's going to become the world reserve currency. Okay, when I hear that, that's a lot of money. I'm not like these other cryptocurrency people. A lot of cryptocurrency people are very tribal. They're very what you call maximalist. They see their cryptocurrency. They like their cryptocurrency. They fall in love with their cryptocurrency. And then they don't want to look at anything else. Anything else is anathema to them. They don't want it. They don't want to touch it. It goes against their core fundamental beliefs when it comes to investing. That to me is not a real investor. When I was first learning to be an investor, I learned that you never fall in love with an asset, whether that be real estate or that be stocks or bonds. People who want to make money don't fall in love with assets, right? You fall in love with the valuation or the return that you can get, that you can potentially get on your asset. And if the return looks good, then you invest in it. Tribalism is the kind of thing that racism is founded on, right? Where you only like one specific thing and anything else is not worthy of your time. And that to me is like racism. Racism is no good because you lose a lot of opportunities by denying yourself access to them because you're tribalistic, because you become a maximalist. I'll only be white and white is the only color I'll look at. Or I'm black only and black is the only, or I'm brown and brown is it. You know, when you do that, you miss out on all the things in life that are beautiful. Diversity. I'm not a leftist, but I do agree with the statement that diversity is beautiful. And it brings great opportunity to all of us. You know, otherwise, all I would eat is the food of my culture. And I can tell you, as a person who likes food, that limits me to the things that I'd like to enjoy. I enjoy all kinds of food. And if all I could eat were, say, lumpia, or, you know, because I'm part Filipino and I was raised full Filipino, or pancit, or, you know, only Filipino food, I would get tired of it. Some people go their whole lives with only Filipino food. But then you'll never have Italian food. You'll never have Japanese food. You'll never have Ethiopian food. You'll never have Cuban food. I mean, you're missing out. No Middle Eastern, Mediterranean diets. You miss out on all the beautiful colors, shapes, tastes of all these other cultures because you're such a maximalist about your own. And that to me is retarded. It's really stupid. Why would you do that? And the same thing goes for cryptocurrencies. There are thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. Many of them are garbage. They call them, okay, shit coins, right? Because they aren't going to amount to much more than shit. But there are a lot out there that are valuable. And I've been fortunate in looking at some of those. I'm not going to say whether I invested in them, but just looking at them has been a great benefit. One of my recent ones has been Chili's. That's a cryptocurrency that does basically sports betting. I just looked at it, right? And the thing went up, I think it was on Friday, went up like 108%. What other asset do you invest in that goes up 108% in a matter of a day? I don't know any other investment. Well, I don't know if that's true, but when I got into real estate, I made investments like that, and they made me a crap load of money. So, but for the longest time, I haven't seen investments like this until now, until cryptocurrencies. And so, I really enjoy cryptocurrencies. So, XRP, Chili's, those are investments like that where I love what's known as FUD, where governments are coming in, they're losing power, so they want to scare, they want to create fear, uncertainty, or doubt, FUD, about the cryptocurrency. And so they come in and they say, we're going to regulate it, make it so nobody can touch that cryptocurrency. It's going to be a crime to own it. We're going to tax everybody. We're going to make it illegal. Stories like that, and everybody sells out of it. Those are beautiful times for me to buy into it. And if the government wants to arrest me for buying into cryptocurrencies at that time, they can come and do that. They can throw me in jail. I'll put my crypto in a place where they can't gain access to it because they don't have the keys. I have the keys. So they can lock me in jail all they want. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for somebody else. I'm not going to tell you who I'm doing it for. I may never get the chance, even if I become a billionaire, to enjoy the fruit of my investment labor. And I'm okay with that. Right now I'm enjoying some of the benefits, but I don't really have to enjoy it all. It's not for me. And so what I can do is I can give the private keys, the access to that account that holds those cryptos, to someone else. And the government can put all the levies and taxes and whatever they want on it, but nobody's going to pay those things. And there's no way for the government to find out who it is who owns it. At that point, all they can do is watch where, on the blockchain, you can see when Bitcoin, for instance, is spent because of the addresses. It starts at one address, it ends at another address, and it happens at a certain date and a time, and this is the amount, okay? All right, you can see that, but you'll never see who did it. You won't see where that actual money goes. And so, SEC can come in and regulate all they want. It doesn't matter. They have no control over it. SEC isn't really in control of it. And then the CFTC comes in and tries to regulate it like it's a commodity. That ain't going to happen either. So I'm at a point where right now, I think a lot of people are waking up to Bitcoin at least. Because Bitcoin's been hitting all-time highs. And I've been telling a lot of people I know to get in. And boy, you know, I don't really feel bad right now if they haven't gotten in. You know, there's a part of me that when I was younger, I used to feel bad for people who were stupid. You know, I'd feel compassion for them. But honestly, they're an insult to me because I spend all this... Oh, crap. I didn't mount my camera right. There we go. I made a sharp turn and the camera fell down. All right, there. Well, that's right. I'm on a better one. Here, I spent all this time and all this research. I do deep research to understand an asset before I get into it. And then I give people free advice on what to purchase. That it's a really good asset because I spent all this time and effort learning about it so that I wouldn't make a mistake when I invest in it. And I give it a nugget, a jewel to you for free. And you insult me by thinking I'm so stupid that I don't know what I'm investing in. So you're not going to touch it, right? Man, you don't deserve the benefit of what I've given you. Because you insulted me. It's almost like you're telling me, hey, Chris, I know you. I know you so well that I know you're stupid. I know you're incompetent. I know you're a loser. So I'm not going to do what you're doing. I'm not going to buy what you bought because I don't want to be caught in that mistake because you're a mistake. You're a failure. Okay. So when Bitcoin is hitting records right now, all-time highs, and making people millionaires, I'm not saying it's making me a millionaire, but it makes people millionaires. You don't deserve to be part of that. And when you can't pay your bills because you're still in assets that are priced in dollars, and by the time you go to sell those assets into dollars, and right now the government is printing trillions and trillions of dollars to send overseas for aid to foreign countries and foreign governments to prosecute wars that shouldn't even be going on, like Joe Biden going into Syria. Everybody hated Trump. Trump never went to war. He took us out of wars. But the Democrats like to take us to war, and they say they're for the people. They're stealing your money and sending your kids to go fight wars and killing them for things that you don't really care about. Who cares what's going on in Syria? Syria has never affected my life. They're not attacking U.S. shores. We're attacking them in their country. When the government is printing bailout money, because here Democrats have shut down economies and destroyed businesses. And because they've destroyed businesses, there are no jobs, so people aren't making money. So Democrats have to bail you out from their bad mistakes, their bad decisions. So they're going to print money to give to you for free so that you can pay your bills because the government's earning the money, you're not. Yeah, right. They're taxing everybody, and then they're giving it to somebody else. But then they print the money and they tax you further. Anyway, you got trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. You just sold your asset into dollars. You just basically wasted your time of sitting into that asset and all that appreciation that your asset made. Because once you go into dollars, that appreciation is constantly sucked out and destroyed. This is what most people don't grasp. If I never go back in the dollar again, I don't have that because Bitcoin's not depreciating. Bitcoin is fixed. It's limited. You know, I think I'm going to pull into a parking lot so I don't have this phone bounce around. And I really don't care if you figure out where I am because I don't reside here. I'm passing through. And there may be things that you can identify my location through the video. That's okay. Good for you. You still can't find out where I am. Let me park right here. So anyway, Bitcoin, I don't ever have to see the dollar again. I could stay in Bitcoin forever. And you know why? Because I don't need to sell Bitcoin for dollars in order to pay my bills, because I'm not paying my bills in dollars. Bitcoin can be used to pay my bills. It's current now. This is not a future, I can see in the future kind of thing happening. Maybe back in 2013 when I was talking about cryptocurrencies and nobody listened to me at that time. That was the case. I had to sell my Bitcoin for dollars and pay a huge tax for the capital gains and the property tax and income and all this stuff. But I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to pay my hard-earned wealth to somebody else. I can pay my bills in Bitcoin. There are a lot of governments, state governments in particular, who are making it so that you can do that, where Bitcoin is becoming a legal currency, a legal tender for paying your bills. Amazon allows you to buy things online. In fact, there are cards now where there are debit cards where now you get cashback rewards for spending money on your own money. So if you load dollars on those cards, let's say it's a debit card. I'm not going to give a specific one because I don't want to endorse anybody, but there are cards where you can take your debit card, load it up with cash, go to a store, buy it, and you get cashback rewards in Bitcoin. So you're spending your dollars that are becoming worthless, and you're getting paid back in an asset that's gaining value. So this is what people can't grasp. And what Michael Saylor has taught me is something that I never really grasped until he said it. I grasped it, but I didn't think about it. You don't ever have to sell your Bitcoin. If you want to get your worthless dollars, you don't need to sell the Bitcoin to get dollars. You can borrow. Let's say you sell the cryptocurrency, right? And you have to pay property tax. I don't know, the property tax right now is probably around 20. I'd have to check. Don't quote me on it, but it's like, and I'm not a CPA, so don't take any of this as investment advice. Don't take it as financial advice or accounting advice or legal advice. I'm just telling you what I do, because I told you I'm having my own little discussion. And if you listen all the way through, great. If you haven't listened this far, then it doesn't matter, because you're probably not even going to take the advice that I'm talking about anyway, or you're not going to take any of the information as advice. I'm not giving you advice. I don't do that. I'm not qualified. I'm not licensed. But however, the friends that I'm talking about where I gave them advice and they didn't follow, that's okay. They didn't follow, so they missed out. They can't sue me because they didn't do anything with it. So it doesn't matter. And if they do it now, it's not advice anymore. I'm not giving you advice because the times have changed now. I wouldn't tell people, my family, to invest in crypto because, first of all, their timing is horrible. A lot of people I've told to invest in things in the past. This is part of the reason why they don't listen to me now. It's because they didn't listen. And when I tell someone to do it, I tell them to do it now. They didn't listen and they waited. They waited till a different time to do it. Their timing was bad. And then they got in because they got greedy watching the price of appreciation. They got greedy and they invested into it at the wrong time. And guess what? It was about the time that it was going to crash. So when it crashed, they lost their money, even though I made money on it. And that was my fault? No, that's not my fault when you don't act right. And that goes for you strangers who, you may take what I'm saying as gospel and you want to go do it. You're freaking late. How many videos have I done on this? I even created a name and a segment on it on my channel. Call it CRYPTOPHER. You can go back and look at all the years of my listing CRYPTOPHER. Or even just talking, not even doing CRYPTOPHER, just talking about cryptocurrencies, because they're in the titles. Go look at the years of the posts, of the dates that I posted those things. I mean, YouTube's deleted a lot of the things that I've done because they're politically charged. That's on you too if you voted for leftism. You like cancel culture. You like censorship. You like government control over your freedom of speech. Well, that's what you get. You don't get information from that then. Government controls the information. So, at this point, people, if you don't listen to what's good, you won't be able to invest in what's good. And if you subscribe to governments, you won't ever be rich. You think the governments are going to save you from rich people? Why are you blaming rich people for why you're poor? Rich people don't make you poor. You make you poor by your bad decisions. If you get money from work and you decide to go to the store and spend it all, don't blame rich people for why you can't pay your bills. Your dumbass decided to invest in an asset that depreciates to zero the moment you buy it. Why? You don't know investing. Shopping is investing. It's sinking your money into something that has no value. It's stupid investing. Be smart. If you want a car, don't go buy a car right away. Go buy an investment, an asset that will appreciate. You be the bank, basically. You would otherwise finance your vehicle and pay the money to the bank for your vehicle? No. Be the bank. Buy an asset that makes you money at the same interest rate that the bank is getting. So you can sit back while somebody else pays you the bill and worries about how they pay their other bills. You be the bank. Lots of books on that. What is that? Ellen Brown, I think, made Be Your Own Bank. I think that was her book. Or I don't remember the name of the book. It's something about banking on yourself or something like that. There are a lot of books like that, like being your own bank, banking on yourself. Well, cryptocurrency is the way to do that. You can be your own government. So you don't need the SEC to regulate or control business. You don't need the CFTC to come and regulate, control business. You don't need the IRS to come and regulate and control your income. You can do it. You can make your own money. You can regulate what you want to buy. And yeah, there are going to be thieves out there, but that behooves you also to be smart. You need to be really smart and watch out for them. Don't put yourself in a situation where a thief can steal all 100 of your Bitcoin that were making you rich and now you're poor. Well, you had the keys. And then when you put it on an exchange, somebody else has the keys to that account, to that exchange. You may have a private key to it, but the exchange also has a private key to it. Why would they give you the only private key? Exchange needs access to that account. So guess what? When your money gets stolen on an exchange, don't complain. It's in a third party control. It goes back to what I was saying about depositories, right? Where if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So an exchange is a depository. You're putting your money in someone else's control. A bank is a depository. You're putting your cash in someone else's control. Beats putting it in the mattress, though, because you're not getting any interest on it. But at the same time, if someone just locks down, the banks have a bank holiday and they lock down and they confiscate your wealth through a bank holiday. Great. What good is that? So what I started this video in about 30 minutes ago, talking about what am I trying to decide now? I've looked at a lot of cryptocurrencies. I've had access to them, and I've enjoyed the way they have appreciated in value. A lot of them well over 100% in the little bit of time that I've been in them. And a lot of them, actually. In fact, a 40% increase has been pretty much average over short periods of time. Not to mention, staking cryptocurrencies adds compound interest to your investment in cryptocurrencies. So not only are you getting capital gains, you're also getting a yield from it. And right now you got the bonds falling apart because everybody realizes that cash is worthless. So anyway, if you need cash from the cryptocurrency that you hold, you don't have to sell the cryptocurrency and get taxed on it. You could borrow against it. You can post your crypto as collateral. Borrow at a lower rate than you could borrow in dollars. In dollars, if you borrow, the interest rate's going to be higher because the lender knows that cryptocurrency that fiat currency is depreciating very quickly because of the printing that the government is doing. And the printing is not in the traditional form anymore. You're actually in cryptocurrencies when you're in fiat currencies now, because dollar is digital, euro is digital. All currencies around the world are digital. They don't really have it in paper form. Not many people actually hold dollars anymore when they spend it. They use plastic that has ones and zeros that represent the dollar on it. And you go on your phone and you check your app and you go, oh, my account has 100,000 in it. Okay. Or most people's like, I only have $100 in my account left. Right? It's all digital. You don't touch the paper anymore. It's not a physical product anymore. And so As such, you know, you don't have to do that. You don't have to sell your digital cryptocurrency for a physical and digital, both physical digital asset called the dollar. Let that thing depreciate in value and yours appreciate in value. You don't ever sell. Let that disappear, go to the wayside, and you don't have to deal with it again. So bond yields are going up. They're super high because everybody knows the risk in bonds is really, really high because they're fixed instruments. You're fixed on the amount of money you can make off of them in a lot of times. And the variable ones, okay, the interest rate has to increase because otherwise you're screwed. You're stuck in there. You're putting in a lump sum of cash and you're getting a little portion back in interest every month, every year, depending upon what kind of investment you've invested in. And you're all the while your money that you put in is depreciating, going towards zero in value. So even though you're getting a little percentage, it doesn't matter. You can get that constant percentage, but eventually if the value is going down, that value of the little percentage is also going down dramatically. So it doesn't matter. But in crypto, when you borrow, you're borrowing at a small percentage rate, but the value of the crypto is increasing. And so therefore your percentage is increasing, because if your percentage of that whole, if the whole is increasing, your percentage of that whole is increasing. Plus you're compounding. So what compounding is each time you get a percentage back, you add a little bit more to your value that you invested. And now that's the value of what's invested. And then next time your percentage is based on that. And it compounds. It's not just a fixed, you're getting like a fixed 1 or 7% each time. No, you're getting 7% of the total value back. And it's compounding. So when that 7% comes back, it becomes the new value, total value. This is what a lot of people don't grasp. It drives me nuts. So you can borrow it. You don't pay tax on money you borrow because it's not money you earned, right? This is the con. The governments keep telling everybody, I'm going to tax the rich people. Rich people don't pay tax. They're taxing you on your income. Income tax is the highest form of tax. Earned income is the highest form of tax out there. Rich people don't get earned income because they don't have jobs. They own the places that make jobs. They're the ones paying you your income because you work for them. And because of such, they can write off any income they have. They have expenses with their business. So you go to people like Bernie Sanders, I'm going to raise the tax on the rich and give it to you. No, he's going to raise the tax on you and give it to you. Dummies, take it out of your pocket to give it back to you. Why? Why don't you just use it to buy what you need anyway? So like healthcare. Why should I have to get a stimulus check? You don't need a stimulus check. You don't need healthcare reformation. Make your money and spend your money on healthcare. If the government didn't take it from you, you'd have it to spend on healthcare. And if the government didn't regulate doctors with insurance companies, they're using insurance companies to regulate doctors, if you don't realize that. Because the insurance companies will not pay doctors unless doctors do things the way the insurance companies want them to do. So they're using another business to regulate another industry. This is the con everybody is bought into. They like the government to control everything. They think government's giving them everything. Yeah, government's giving everything, but guess where they get it to give it to you? They take it from you first to give it to you. And a lot of people support that. With crypto, you don't have to. So when you borrow against your crypto asset, you don't ever have to sell your asset. You put it as collateral. You borrow that value or a portion of that value out in cash, in dollars. You go spend it for whatever you have. This currency will increase in value as this one's decreasing. And you're getting, you may stake that crypto somewhere else, get a higher interest than you're paying. Let's say you borrow at 1% and you've staked it at 15%. Are you going to be able to pay your bills? You can pay back that crypto asset and not pay any income tax on it. You'll pay on the staking as income, but you're going to pay a smaller percentage of that than you would on a dollar-denominated asset that's giving you income. and the dollar is crashing on top of it. This is basically what I'm going at. So right now I'm debating. Over 40 minutes ago now, I've been talking about, I'm debating. I've been into a lot of altcoins, right? Anything that's not Bitcoin. But I'm starting to think about it. Now that everybody knows that Bitcoin's hitting all-time highs, all the institutions are starting to get in. When everyone realizes the dollar is zero and they transfer their wealth from dollars to Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is going to be the number one. And I told you not to fall in love with a particular asset or be a maximalist or to be a tribalist or to be in love with one asset. But to me, Bitcoin is going to be the best cryptocurrency because it's the most well-known. It's the best marketed. Everybody knows what Bitcoin is. Even if they don't know it, they know the name. Are they going to know Parsec? Only the people like me will know Parsec. Only the people who've made money already in crypto will know Parsec. And only those people will be selling at a profit when all the new people are coming in to invest a little bit in profit. But at some point, I think that the flood into crypto is going to be so dramatic that people are not going to want to get into a Parsec anymore. They're only going to want to be in Bitcoin. So the way I see things is, I'm going to watch my altcoins, if I own any. I'm going to watch them. If they start increasing in value by like 10,000%, 20,000%, I'm going to get out of those assets, sell for profit into Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin. Just hold. And Bitcoin is going to be my end game. And then at some point, we're at a point now where if you want to buy gold and silver, you can do that in Bitcoin. So if I ever want to buy gold and silver, I got my Bitcoin and I can do that. If I start to get worried about what Bitcoin's going to do, if the government's coming in and they're like, we're going to arrest you if we find out you have Bitcoin, but they don't care about precious metals anymore because precious metals are the old money, they're still money. Gold, not so much, because gold can be counterfeited by China. China's counterfeited everything. They can counterfeit gold by using tungsten. I've talked about that in other videos. But silver, you cannot counterfeit. And silver is used in technology. So Bitcoin is going to create more technology. The blockchain creates more technology, like physical devices that we still need to use until we get away from physical devices, where everything's a hologram and you can do all your things like I'm doing right now on my phone. You can do in the midair. You're going to have a hologram that now you can do. I think that's coming too eventually, but we're not there yet. But as long as I have a physical device, I need that silver. So that silver is going to be valuable as an industrial asset, as a technology asset. But silver is also money because it doesn't deteriorate over time. For thousands and thousands of years, gold and silver have been money. They will continue to be money. And to me, platinum and palladium as well are money. They're not as much money. They're harder. They're not a liquid market. Liquid meaning there's not as many people buying into it. So if you buy into it and you want to sell out, in order to sell out, you need a buyer. And if there's not as much liquidity there, you won't be able to sell out of it. Some cryptocurrencies are like that too. So that's the other thing about altcoins. You need to be careful about altcoins because we may get a 10,000% rally at some point in certain altcoins. You need to sell at that point. Don't wait until the altcoin starts to go down because everybody's selling. Because at that point, there's no one there to buy. Liquidity is key in all assets. And Bitcoin is at that level where everybody is knowing about it. Everyone's going to get involved. And you will always have buyers. You will always have sellers. You will always have liquidity in Bitcoin now from this point going forward. So to me, Bitcoin is the ultimate asset. You can dabble in altcoins all you want, but be careful. There's high risk. Why is there high risk? Because those can be Hotel California. Those can be Roach Motel. You can check in, but you can't ever leave. So you got to be careful of that. But that's part of the reason why you can get a 10,000% return on an altcoin. because there's nobody in it. You may get in, you may be the only one in it. And then if hundreds of people decide to buy into it with millions and millions of dollars, the value is going to skyrocket all of a sudden, because you may be the only one in it. You and another person may be the only ones in it. And that other person decides to sell out while you're in there. And while they're selling, so they provide a seller for these new buyers, those people can now enter the market, and it causes the value to rise. You'll be able to cash out at a higher rate. But if you wait until everyone's bought in, and now there are no more buyers, everyone's a seller here, and they're all trying to sell out, you won't be able to sell out when you decide to sell out. You got to compete with all the other sellers. So these are things, important things that people need to consider when they invest in altcoins, when they invest in anything, really. Is liquidity, is the liquidity there? Can people afford it? Are there going to be people that are buying it when you want to sell it? Can you check in, but can you check out? Whenever I invest in something, now this is not investment advice, I'm just telling everybody this, what I do. Whenever I invest in something, I first figure out how I'm going to exit. And then I get into it. How and when am I going to exit? At what price am I going to exit? I may not know the specific date that I'm going to exit, but I know the specific price I want to sell at. And I watch, and I do technical analysis, and I look at things to make sure that's about right, and I will do that. But at this point, I'm becoming a Bitcoin maximalist, and I believe I don't know. Bitcoin may potentially go to infinity. Who knows? Who knows what the valuation of Bitcoin will be? Because you have so much debt, and you have so many derivatives that amp up that debt. And you have so many dollars out there, and everyone around the world is using dollars. Even the people who don't want to use it anymore are using it. And little by little, they're starting to dump it. That's why you're seeing that in the bond market. No one wants to buy treasuries because they know that they're holding dollar assets, and they're not going to want to hold dollar assets, even if they're making a good yield on it. The yields are spiking because they have to encourage people to park their money in those assets, so they can get that high yield. Well, those yields are going to keep spiking because nobody's going to want to put their money in that asset. So they're going to keep spiking so that they can induce people to sucker people into putting their money in there. And I don't think you can get an asset to spike enough to get people to come in if they know that the currency is going to go to zero. And that might be even a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people believe the currency is going to go to zero, but it's not necessarily going to go to zero, they could potentially drive it to zero by not putting their money in it, but putting their wealth value in it. If people shun the dollar, it could potentially go to zero, because it could scare out the other people who are actually holding dollars by when they watch. That's what happens in markets, right? People who don't know investing, who are not smart, and don't have an exit plan when they enter, they buy it just to hold it forever. And if the value starts to crash, they get scared. They're like, oh, should I sell? No, I'm going to hold on, because it always goes up, and then it goes down more. And they go, I'm going to hold on. They're holding a falling knife. And they keep expecting it to rise until it's almost to zero. When it's almost to zero, then they start to go, oh my God, I got to take action. No, dummy, you should have taken action. You should have had your action plan set already. You should have taken action when it first started falling. You waited and waited. I mean, shoot, what happens to me is if I make a bad decision and I see it fall, I sell out here. I'm already out of the market. If it rallies, c'est la vie. I go and find another asset. At least I didn't lose a lot of my money. But I watch, if that asset's going down to here and I still believe in that asset, I wait till it's right here, and then I'll buy back in. Because the money is made here. The money's not made here. The money's made here. When it rallies back to here, here is your profit, all of this. So if you bought up here and it dropped down to here, this is your loss. This entire segment. You're losing all your money. And that's why Bitcoin, you don't have to sell it. Even if Bitcoin drops, you don't ever have to sell Bitcoin. You can borrow against it. And it's better to borrow against it when it's at all-time highs. Why? Because your loan to value is higher. Your value is higher relative to your loan. you can borrow more based on the value of that asset. It's better to borrow more based on the level of that asset and have it crash, and now you got the cash value, but you still have the asset. You can even use your loan to buy back in to the thing, get more collateral, the thing you used as collateral to get the loan in the first place. So when the loan value is high and you borrow against it, if it doesn't crash, it keeps increasing, use that money to purchase something else that's crashed. And then stake it for a high interest. This is not financial advice. I'm just saying, I'm talking to me because I'm looking at me in the video. Use that to pay your loan. But if the asset itself is crashed, use your loan to buy more of that asset then, because it's cheaper now. To me, it's a no-brainer. But to a lot of people, it's not. Now, if you've hanged out with me this far, you're a trooper. You're a real subscriber. You are a real believer in what I'm saying. And not only do I appreciate that, I greatly appreciate that, really. Because you're telling me you're smart, you're capable. I know exactly what you're saying, and I believe what you're saying to be true. And so you subscribe to it. And I'm going to tell you, I pray for you, and I hope for you to be more successful than you have ever been in your life. May the wealth that you achieve by doing whatever I'm saying be great. You don't owe me anything. You don't have to pay me anything. I appreciate the fact that you're here. If you want to ever donate to me, I have donation links in the comment section below my video. And I have affiliate links also. So if you liked affiliates that I have listed there, products that you can use, by all means, use my affiliate codes and my links so that I can get a little kickback from, introducing you to those products. And also, it's as a service for what I'm doing here for free. I'm giving you my information for free. Now, if you take this information and you lose a crap load of money, I don't owe you anything, number one, because I didn't charge you for this advice. And it's not really advice. I'm not qualified to give you advice. You decided to do whatever you decided to do with it. And you take responsibility for yourself. You're an adult. Are you going to sue me if you own real estate and you got this idea to sell your real estate and you lost money? You're going to blame me for that? I didn't have anything to do with that sale. I didn't even give you any investment advice regarding real estate. I don't even like real estate right now. I think valuations are just outrageous. And real estate is priced in dollars. I know that there are certain places around the world you can buy real estate in Bitcoin, but I can't do that yet. I don't want to do that yet. I'm not ready to start going into real estate and getting out of Bitcoin. I like the Bitcoin better. Unless I can see that, the yields on my investment and return on my investment in a real estate could potentially give me good return. Then maybe I would buy real estate with my crypto loans and then pay back my loans with the money that I get from the real estate. Yeah, maybe, but that's not now. Most people can't afford real estate. The only reason real estate keeps going up is because rich people are just trading them as assets. They're not really, good investments at this point, unless you're flipping it for capital gains, selling it to the greater fool, a rich person, who's really not even a fool. The rich people are buying this stuff in a lot of ways so they can escape government. They can realize phantom revenue from the depreciation of their real estate assets, and find a way to protect their value that they put into their U.S. dollar. I don't know that real estate's time yet. I want to see it crash. So derivatives have made everything crazy. We're in a world where everything is crazy. And eventually Bitcoin will be crazy, but I don't see it there yet. And so I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. So anyway, if you've been with me this long, I absolutely appreciate that you've been here. And I like that you subscribed, and I appreciate any donations you give me. If it's your first time and you've lasted this long, you're a real trooper, because you don't even know who I am and you've listened this long. Hopefully I've developed investment ideas with you, and I would appreciate if in the comment section below if you got an idea where you can figure out, I can make crap loads of money doing this, and because you gave me free info, I want you and your community to benefit from it. Feel free in the comment section below to say that. I always love discussing money-making opportunities with people. Go ahead and put that in the comment section below so that I can see and I can learn from you now another way to make money. And then hit the bell notification button, the subscribe and bell notification buttons, so that you know, and set the notification to all so that you know every time I post. And most importantly, share this video with anyone you think can benefit from the information. It always takes me a long time to say goodbye because I'm Filipino. And in our culture, when we have a party or a gathering and we're talking with people, we love people. And it's very difficult for us to say goodbye to them when we're at a party with them. So it's the long farewell, basically. We spend hours when we're like, okay, I'm leaving, bye guys. We spend hours from that point on leaving. I'm kind of like that when I do my videos too. I tell you, all right, I'm done, and then I spend another hour talking. But I think I need to end this because this video has been long enough. And hopefully you got something out of it. And I love you guys. I wish you nothing but the best. There are going to be a lot of people are going to be hurting when this economy crashes because the dollar is crashing. And I believe that this crash will be different. I know we say that whenever someone says this time is different, it's not. I think it is different this time, though, because it's not like we're only in the dollar and the dollar crashes, the economy crashes. No. A lot of us are in Bitcoin. So those people that stay in dollars, when they crash and that dollar-based economy crashes, they will suffer. But the people in Bitcoin will be able to maintain the Bitcoin-based economy. And if a lot of the current dollar-based economy transforms where they accept Bitcoin in exchanges, in transactions, they will not crash either, because the Bitcoin people like me, who will be using it to buy and transact and pay bills and all that stuff and invest, will keep those industries afloat. And the old industries that only survive on the old asset, they will fall by the wayside. So even the people who only cling to that, who are dollar tribalists, they're maximists, they're racists, they're the stereotypical people who they're arrogant, in other words. I only like what I like, and what I don't like doesn't matter anymore. Then they'll go to the wayside. See, I'm not like that, because even if I don't like the dollar right now, if I believe the dollar will increase in value, I'll invest in it. And I think there might be a period of time where that might happen, where the dollar might increase in value after it crashes first. Why? It'll crash a little bit, and then the demand for it will increase, because people always will pay their bills in dollars. They're too trained. The day that people no longer pay their bills in dollars is the day that the dollar will completely crash. We will transition out of it. Do I believe that's going to happen, where the dollar will go to absolutely zero? Nah. I think that they're going to find a way to keep the dollar alive. They're going to make it a cryptocurrency at some point. It currently is a semi-cryptocurrency, but I shouldn't say a cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrencies are decentralized and governments control things. It's centralized under their control. So fiat currency could never be a cryptocurrency, but they're going to con everybody and tell them it's going to be a digital cryptocurrency, but it's not. It's going to be a digital fiat currency, which it currently is anyway. They're just going to con everyone and make them think that it's something new. Fiat currencies are already digital currencies. They're just going to completely eliminate the paper aspect of it. And that's even more dangerous. They'll con you into all kinds of those things. I mean, like right now, when they're reporting the bonds, they're saying, oh, people are fleeing traditional safe haven assets for risk because they feel like the economy is going to improve with stimulus. No, that's not what's happening. People are fleeing assets that are depreciating. It's not a safe haven if it's depreciating. So they're fleeing them. They keep telling everyone it's a safe haven. It's not. If you're going to lose your value, it's not safe. To me, the only place safe is Bitcoin. All right, God bless y'all. I keep dragging it out, but I'm going to stop it at an hour. May God be with you, and may you see great prosperity. Take care.